Hi friends, I'm out fishing, catching a bunch of nice little bass today. It's awesome. And I thought it'd be a great idea for the YouTube channel to tell a little story. A story about the fact that I'm lucky to be here. I was lucky to be born. So I'm going to tell you a story about how my parents met. Now, my parents, my dad is from a small town in Nova Scotia, Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, which is down the south shore. There's actually a ferry that goes from there down to Maine, down to the States. So that's where he's from, and my mom is from the prairies, right on the border of Saskatchewan and Alberta. So when my mom was 18 years old, she joined the convent. She became a nun, if you can believe it. And my mother was a nun for 20 years. So on the prairies back in the day, all the kids had to work on the farms. And my mom, she didn't even have, they had no indoor plumbing. There was like an outhouse. I can't imagine the cold prairie winter with like minus 30, minus 40 wind chill and having to go to the outhouse. That would be very, very cold. But they all learned how to work very hard. And my mom's stepmom took her out of school because she needed help on the farm. But when she went into the convent, they educated her. She got her high school and then even went on to get her nursing. She went to UBC, way out in Vancouver, Canada. And she became a nurse and worked at a hospital out there and enjoyed her life doing that. So, but you know, all of her brothers and sisters, there was 9 in their family. They all had these wonderful big families. And my mom, she longed to actually have a family. So she decided that she should leave the convent, and because her soul wasn't into it at that point. So she did. She left the convent, and while nursing at the hospital out there in BC, she met one of the head surgeons, and that surgeon, she'd mentioned that she might be leaving. He said, "Well, I'm moving out to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and if you ever need a job, I'll give you a job because you're excellent at what you do." She scheduled the whole operating room and all these things, and that's what she did. So she came all the way across the country out to the Maritimes and started working at the hospital out here in Halifax. Well, my dad had moved from Yarmouth, the small town, and he moved to Halifax, and he was working for Fina. They were a gas station way back when, and anyway, he was working there, and one day it was pouring down rain, and my dad was driving his car down the road, and he saw this good-looking lady walking down the road in the rain with her groceries, and all the bags back then, they were brown paper bags, grocery bags. He got off. And he looked and he said, "Geez, you know, I should offer that young lady a drive to get her out of the rain, because all of her canned goods and stuff would start breaking through that paper grocery bag." But he thought, "Geez, you know, she'll probably think I'm some creep, you know, trying to pick her up, you know, and being the hitchhiker and all." So he chickened out. But he drove a little further, and then what happened was the light at the intersection turned red, so he had to stop. And what happened is my mom kept walking up the street, and he stopped at the light, and the light's red, so she was right next to his car. And he finally got up enough guts. Oh, beaver over there. And I just got a fish on it, but maybe he got off. Anyway, yeah. So he got up enough guts because they were stopped at the light, and he rolled down the passenger window, the old door crankers. On those days, they weren't electric. and he said, "Miss, would you like a drive home? It's raining. I can see you've got your groceries." So then when I talked to my mom, she said, "Geez, I really wanted to get out of the rain and get protected because I had these bags of groceries. But, you know, you don't just get into a car with a strange man. You know, you never know. You got to protect yourself." But she looked in, and my dad's just a little guy. And she said, like he's 5'2". So she said, "I think I could take him if something happened. I'm a pretty strong, you know, prairie girl. I'm a strong woman." So she got in, and anyway, of course, my dad was a gentleman, and he drove her home. And that's when they met. And when he drove her home, unbelievable, they both lived in the same apartment building. She lived a few floors above him. So, and they had never seen each other at that point. So then they started courting and dating and having some suppers and meals together. And I know my father cooked her some good East Coast lobster. He really knows how to cook them up. We cook them in real seawater, and they're delicious. But yeah, after 3 months, they got engaged and then got married. Luckily for me, because my mom was 40 when she had me, and there was complications. I was a C-section baby, and she couldn't have any other babies. So I got lucky. I guess I was meant to be here. But if you haven't found your love yet, just keep that in mind, that it might find you when you're not even looking for it. As long as you have a good kind of attitude and you're nice and just be nice to people, you know. Maybe offer someone a drive if it's pouring down rain and they're carrying groceries. All right, friends, thanks for tuning in.